We recently did a series of about 30 interviews with caregivers. It's always the obvious things that surprise us, right? And I was so surprised to repeatedly hear over and over again that one of their suggested improvements was that they wish that they knew what was going to happen.
I was left in the dark from, I don't know, let's say 2:30 in the afternoon till about 9 o'clock in the evening, not knowing very much about the juvenile system. And at that time, I didn't know anything and nobody reached out to me. So I felt very left out and confused and beside myself and not knowing what to do next.
And these are more caregivers of youth just being in juvenile intake. So they were meeting with an intake worker, not a judge. And so my example there would be, I would say at least, 5 to 10 of them thought that they were meeting with a judge when they were going to court. They were really nervous. And then all of a sudden, surprise, they're actually meeting with an intake worker. And a lot of families are pleasantly surprised with the process, I should say, too. So they sort of have the stress relief when they come in because it's much better than they thought it was going to be. And also they were carrying all this stress with them into those initial contacts that they were making. It's hard to put your best foot forward when that's happening.
I was a little afraid to ask questions in the beginning. Of course, after time went on and I wasn't getting answers, it was much easier. But in the beginning, I was more timid and a little nervous because I didn't want to upset or make things worse for him. It's scary. You don't know what to expect.
Whenever we walk into a situation that is unknown or unfamiliar, we all experience fear and anxiety. And so when parents are navigating a system that they're unfamiliar with the youth who also is unfamiliar with that system, they can't answer the child's questions about what to expect, what's going to happen, what it's going to look like. And naturally, that is going to increase stress within the parent or caregiver.
Isolating him from his family. I mean, he was banging his head on the wall at the detention center. But of course, wouldn't tell them that it was because he needed to speak to his family. And speaking to me would have stopped that. I could have said, honey, this is something we're just going to go through. You're going to be fine. There's no reason to beat yourself up. You made a stupid mistake. You're going to learn from it. We're not going to do it again, right? That, we all make mistakes. And you feel as a parent, you're being punished too for what? Trying to do the best by your kid, and you just can't help it because the world's crazy,
In some ways, it's a simple component, but knowing what to expect, having the information of when they go for a diversion appointment, when they go to probation, what is that going to look like? What is my child going to experience? What am I going to experience? So that I can help reduce the stress for both myself and my child and not risk further behaviors that might get them in trouble because of that anxiety and because of that stress.
You're not a bad parent. Kids just make bad choices no matter how we try to lead them in the right direction. I wish I was a little stronger and went in with a little bit of force in the beginning. Maybe he wouldn't have gone through some of the depression and the problems in the beginning like he did. But you'll be fine. You'll make it through. It's more of a hassle and a headache than anything.